They're just having a little fun time over there. Are they playing games?
Maybe.
You guys are good?
Sorry, great. I'm like back in grade school. Talking instead of paying attention.
Fit everything on an index card, front and back, and you'll be fine.
We're trying to cram for the test. I'll just cheat off you. Okay. Good luck.
You're gonna feel too.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to the night's main event. Co-main event, I should say. I know he's in here right now, but thank you for coming today. And today's panel is I'm Me, and it's This Game's Fault. And so what we're going to be doing today is hopefully having a conversation and a dialogue and a discussion with our panelists, kind of going into exploring our relationship with games in various forms. Everyone's got different walks of life, what that connection means, maybe understanding a little bit more about ourselves, or looking at things from potentially a different perspective. So that's the goal. Folks on stage, this is also a reflection time for everyone in the audience too. So feel free to ruminate on these questions as you go through and we have this discussion. Does that sound good? Woo! Cool. Yeah. Okay, but before we get into it, I need to really introduce the panelists, the stars of the show today. So I'm going to do a little bit of that, and I like to have a little fun with this, so bear with me. I'll start from one end to the other. So if you know anything about the gaming space, the gaming industry, you know there's one voice that is always at the heart of it, the center of it, somewhere, somehow in the discussion. He's either starting it, engaging with it, and everything. And there's a high likelihood that you've heard of 8-Bit Close Fist being a part of that. He's also, in addition to being a part of these conversations, the host or co-host of the Checkpoint the Show, one of the greatest shows that have been coming out this last year, I believe. Yeah, this year. And when he's not doing that, when that's not enough, he likes to unwind a little bit. And I believe he holds the title of holding some of the best parties this side of the West Coast. Please introduce Ronell Crawford. Okay. I need to give you a preface here. We're in the presence of greatness. She is the author of Cat People, A Cat's Guide to Caring for Humans. And she's one half of the amazing podcast 500 Open Tabs. And I gotta tell you a secret, you're never gonna guess who the other half is. She's an amazing illustrator. In fact, she's at Comic-Con in Artist Alley just an hour ago, closing up for things. And I just got a commission of my cat from her. Please welcome Hannah Hillam.
Hi.
This man needs no introductions. He's a man. All right, so we're just gonna move on. He is in fact the other half of 500 Open Tabs podcast. I told you guys you wouldn't believe it. I put him right next to each other on purpose. This is the whole thing. He has done everything. I don't know. He's a Renaissance man in my eyes. He's done filmmaking. He's illustrated. He's podcasting. Every time I talk to him, there's at least 10 other things I learned he's been doing or knows how to do. It's never, I'm honestly surprised I'm still surprised. And actually, we met at Comic-Con a few years ago, so happy anniversary, Kaveh Taherian. Okay, so next up. All right, this man, when I tell you this person is everywhere, I mean he's everywhere. He's at every event, everything that is Comic-Con-esque in your mind, I think of this man. And I mean it in the best way. He's always bringing a positivity to it, an energy to it that is just infectious, it's contagious. If you know, you know, and I hope you get to meet him and get a chance to feel that as well yourself. He is the host of Sick Burn podcast, where when he's not bringing positivity in the conversations just casually, he's creating spaces to have the stories of uplifting conversations. When he's not doing that, he's a part of the Joy Stick Show.
Yeah.
Doing amazing conversations about the latest and greatest movies, reviews, shows, and all kinds of natures like that. When he's not doing that, he's involved with Challenge Accepted podcast. This guy likes podcasts. I don't know if he knows. Sharing reviews and similar kind of conversations in a different space. And I think it's all about having these spaces. So on top of that, I think I heard it's his birthday a few days ago. So happy birthday. comedy scene by storm.
Sorry.
We all do. When she's doing shows across the states, sometimes she's doing shows potentially across the pond and taking over the international comedy scene potentially soon. And then when she's not doing that, she's half of the Dork Souls podcast, an amazing podcast you should check out. Then on top of that, she's streaming games with her amazing community. I'd like to please introduce Lisa Wallen. Okay, everyone, this is our amazing panelists. This is what we have today for the show. We have the stage, we have the players. I want to get into it. I have an open question. We'll start with you, Ronell. If someone really wanted to understand you and who you are, what game would you hand them and why?
That sounds good for my life. So many possibilities here. I think, and I have a cop-out answer, and then I have a better answer. I think I would have to pick, like, you guys remember those, like, jam-packed discs, like, from PlayStation?
Yeah.
Like, a bunch of demos on it?
Oh, those are the best.
Yeah. I'm thinking one of those. One with, like, Jack and Dexter and Connecticut on it. Like, I would pick something like that. Like, that's my cop-out answer.
Why is that?
Because it's hard to narrow it down to just one thing. I like to jump around, even when I'm playing games, I like to jump around, but I also like to, I don't know, I kind of like to explore different things, whether it's different aspects of my personality or just things that's going on in the world. I like to like look around and like try new stuff, so that makes sense for the gym. Yeah, and I'm cheap. And then if I had to pick one something other than that, it might be like Guitar Hero or something. I don't know, just because it's fun and competitive and I like music.
Okay.
Can you repeat the question?
If someone really wanted to understand you, what game would you hand them and why?
I mean, it always comes back to either The Sims or Skyrim. And Skyrim because I literally failed college because of it, and started my new career, and here's why I'm at Comic-Con, so thank you, Bethesda Studios. But also, before that was The Sims, and I think that I had moved when I was really young and didn't have friends. This is gonna get happier. I didn't have friends, and so I was like, I know, I'll just play The Sims all day and ignore my siblings when I had to babysit. But it got me this. It was a kind of a fun way for me to explore world building in a way that was very accessible. And then when Skyrim came along, and I dropped out of college, that to me that's just my bread and butter. It's just like, here's a beautiful place, and go and explore. And yeah, you're a murderer, and everyone loves you. It's just insane. But it's just Skyrim. I'm gonna end on that. Skyrim.
Okay, so my reference of a game that I think defines me, of course, you and I talked about extensively on your podcast, Savepoint Stories, available everywhere for podcasts. It's the original 8-bit version of Contra. How many here even know what an old Nintendo is? Great.
We got some folks here.
That game, it sounds like a lot of people here are familiar with it, but basically it's a thinly veiled political metaphor. And it's also a ripoff of like kind of Rambo, kind of like Schwarzenegger movies, neither of which are movies that I really grew up watching, but I liked the fact that it was somewhat political, it was somewhat absurd, and it had this metaphor of like the vile red falcon, quote unquote, at the end of it, which was it's trying to defeat communism. Not that I would want to defeat communism. I like that was the idea of it, and it's just really fun, and the spread gun is still awesome. I still think about the spread gun all the time. Like, it's how my brain works. I think that's why I was so excited about it. But that's probably the game that has stuck with me for the longest, and it's something that I've been able to come back to over and over again. So my answer is Contra.
Great.
Super Smash Brothers Melee. Number 1,143 in the country.
What was your name?
No big deal.
He'll take signings outside.
Yeah, I mean it's. I think it is kind kind of me, it's silly, it's fun, there's goofy characters, but when you get to the competition, it's deadly serious. Like people, I almost came to blows with another little Asian kid. And I was like, we're gonna do this. But that game, I was obsessed with it, and it's like crazy. I still think about it, it'd be a little bit more challenging now with these nubbins, but like, I still think about those competitions in that game. It was, oh man, all night. We used to say STD, Smash Till Dawn. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, it has a different meaning now. Yeah. We're getting late.
Thomas, I'm sure the folks are wondering, who did you main?
Oh my gosh, every character that sucked. I was like, let's try Ice Climber. Let's try like Star Fox and Marv and like all the good characters. Sam,
Every boy that ever dated
plays
plays
really good.
That's hilarious. Mine would be Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Woo!
Which, okay, thank you. Most people boo at that. They go, wait, no, Ocarina of Time? I think Ocarina of Time is the most impactful out of the Zelda games in gaming, but Twilight Princess was the first game to make me seriously sob my eyes out over a side character. And the way that Midna and Link's relationship develops over time made me truly appreciate storytelling in video games. Like, I was always a Zelda fan, but when Twilight Princess came out, I was like going through puberty. And probably my first heartbreak in like junior high school, and that game had such, my whole entire sleeve is Twilight Princess. Like, there are other Zelda games I enjoy more replayable wise, but that is the game that's like, when it comes to like playing story-based games or like getting into the lore, like Twilight Princess was that for me. Yeah. It's got its issues, I know, but
What game does it?
that game sucks. That's all I got.
As we go through the conversation, I'm going to kind of frame things in a certain light. So as we go through it, right now I'd like to kind of touch on some of what you guys have been hinting at already, which is how it's reflecting on bits of yourself. Like, what do you see in a game? What does it show you about yourself? What you look for? And so with that, I'm kind of curious, and this time, Lisa, I'll start with you. When you start to notice like a game resonating, when you're either seeking it out or you're finding a game and you're like, this is jiving with me, what about it do you tend to see resonate with you? Is it something specific, or do you can you expand in any way?
Usually characters I want to either adopt or have sex with. That's like, so like Snake, Metal Gear Solid, I want both. And usually it's a good story that doesn't reveal too much. Like if it's one that keeps you guessing. Like I'm playing Claire Obscure right now. I'm sure we're all playing that. And I'm like, I have no idea how far I am in this game story-wise. And I love that aspect where not too much is thrown at you. But also it has to have some sort of mechanic or combat that is not sick and repetitive. Like I don't get tired of it. So like I love Souls games, a lot of people know, and it's like, oh yeah, it's because it makes dying fun or whatever. But usually, yeah, I have to have a character that I can just like really dig into emotionally, and also a story that isn't too predictable, I would say, are the most important for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I mean, really, it's like the playability for me now, and Claire Obscure is insane.
Good
Like,
playability.
I just wanted to live in Lumiere, and it's like, it was captivating, it was unique. Like the whole French aspect was so different than everything I had seen. But I think now it's like, I watch a lot of movies, I watch a lot of TV shows, I review a lot of that stuff. So like games for me are like my escape. I almost just want like mind-numbing, just whatever. I just want to like detect, like I'll play Pressure Washer. You know what I mean? Like,
There's a good story in Power Wash Simulator.
Is there? But I think it is just playability and its feel, and it's like, you just kind of can escape in the environment. It's like I don't necessarily need the most like crazy characters all the time, although it's there with like Claire Obscure, but yeah, I just want to get enraptured in this and just like forget the outside world.
Hell yeah.
Where you go?
I think, so from the time I was a kid, I really hated the games where you had to read a lot. That drove me insane. Like, people were like, oh, you didn't play Zelda? And I'm like, I don't want to read that shit.
Reading is for nerds.
I love reading, but it's not the video.
Yeah.
You know, talk to a person and I have to select from these 3 things. Like, I want to say something unhinged and different from those. So.
It's good you have a research-based podcast.
Exactly. It's more about what I don't like in a game rather than what I do like in a game.
We'll touch on that too.
have soft palettes
Okay.
and like controlled lighting, so that it forces me to pay attention to something as opposed to like it being too mannequin all over the place. But I also do love things that are a little bit mannequin all over the place. I'm not gonna lie. So the real answer is I don't have an answer for you. Whatever's okay at the moment.
Yeah.
Is it my
Where
turn?
human beings. It's always a fluid mind state of like what are you going through, what do you want, what do you not want.
For me, sorry. I hate to say this again, but can you repeat the question? I'm having just
Absolutely.
I've been
you're
working
good.
for like 9 hours straight. Yeah, one more time, please.
When the game resonates with you,
Yes.
what is it about it that resonates?
That's right, okay. For me, it's being given, like the game trusting me to take the story. Does that make sense? Like I want to be able to say, here's this character I have, and let's go get into like situations. Like, let's go take all the cheese out of the castle and Hill or whatever in Skyrim, or how are we gonna, I just like to be able to have absurd situations and ignore the main quest and come back to what I want to. I guess I like the sandbox idea of it, but I like the story and I want history in it. If there's some historical stuff I can like get
Sink your teeth into?
Sing, like that's why I love Skyrim. I'm like, oh, these are the Romans. I get to kill Romans. Like, screw them. Yeah. So that's what I mean. That's not the only thing, but I like when I can be immersed in a very historic and open world kind of way where they trust me to take the story.
Okay. So some sense of agency then.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think I like either deep or like layered like gameplay mechanics.
Okay.
Like I like to keep figuring things out. Like I like for the game to surprise me a little bit with a new game mechanic like later on in the game, like maybe even almost halfway through. That's always great. Or a story that's I don't know, I just feel like the writer is trying to get me to feel something. Whatever that is, whether that's anger or frustration, sadness, whatever. I feel like I can feel that, metaphor, Fantasio.
Yeah.
I feel like he was telling me, hey, you need to feel something about stuff that's going on, right? And I think that resonated with me. Whether they do it with the entire overarching story or with individual characters.
You guys can converse.
I would say you brought up something that made me think of something. When it comes to consuming media, whether it's video games, music, movies, films, whatever, anything. If I can feel that it was created out of passion and not money, that's usually my go-to. This was a passion product. Yeah, it's Nintendo, but Twilight Princess is the people who worked on these games love Zelda. They love the story. They're we're gonna make sure we make a product that's really gonna resonate with the new fans and the fans that are growing over time. Same thing with indie games, Souls games. It's sometimes I'll play a video game this feels really corporate and I don't like it, if that makes sense. Or it feels like they just shit something out because they were in a rush, and that's when I'm I can't feel the passion in this game, so I'm not gonna deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
What you said, facts.
Yeah.
I think I want to hit on something, Kaveh, you were hitting on, which was, sometimes we are playing a game and it doesn't always bring out maybe the best side of us, or Thomas, you were talking about with Smash as well, of the rage that it can do. Are there games that maybe bring out some of your worst traits or that you feel the most unhinged with? Does that ever occur? What do you do in those scenarios? Do you lean into it? Yeah, whoever would like to speak. Thomas, we'll start with you.
Yeah. So when I was in middle school, the first Xbox came out, and we just got the first Halo game. And I'm not I can't even tell you now. I was ungodly at that game, everybody. And so my neighbor was one of the first people to have it, and I would go over, and I was a little 14-year-old kid or whatever. And there'd be these grown men. I grew up in Hawaii, so there was all these huge Hawaiian Samoan dudes. And they would just line up, and I would just wreck them. I've seen grown-men smash tables and everything. And that scared the crap out of me. But I was oh, this is what power feels like. Actually, yeah, it was the worst out of me, but it brought the worst out of others, and I practice and like show up at tournaments, get wrecked in the first round, then still have to be there for 8 hours with my friends kept playing on. So I don't know, but I was like, I'm not gonna game like that anymore. And I think in this day and age, it's more like once Marvel Rivals gets too hot for me, I'm like, yeah, Clear Obscure, Power Washer.
I think for me, living in Los Angeles has allowed me to really appreciate Grand Theft Auto 5. Particularly in the past few years, considering the encroachment of law enforcement's overstepping boundaries. So I'm not going to say anything on the record in case it gets recorded and used against me later, but I will say that there are sandbox elements of that game that allow me to fulfill certain fantasies. That get increasingly more and more and creative, I might add.
I would say for me, there was moments playing The Sims.
I'm scared.
That I think a lot of young girls know. It's suddenly you're like, cool, I've engineered an entire society. I've made everybody marry each other. I'm like controlling their lives. I'm gonna lock them in the bathroom. I'm gonna put them in the pool with no ladder. And then suddenly, I remember the first time I purposefully killed a Sim. And I felt sick.
I just like you all need to put on a list.
I'm on a list. The podcast we have puts us both on the list.
On that list regardless.
Yeah. By default. But yeah, I think there was a moment where I like purposefully killed a Sim that I was like, oh, I don't feel good about this. Or if I'm mean to an NPC, that tells me a lot about myself. Or I like say the mean thing and I'm like, oh no, they're not gonna like me. And I don't like that I care about NPCs. Actually, no, I do like it. But yeah, I'm scared of the Sims and I'm scared of power.
Absolute power, Kurosh.
It's insane.
Overwatch. I've never in my life been as angry as a human being as I have been playing Season 1 Overwatch. When the game first came out, Bastion in the back, Mercy, and a Reinhardt guarding whatever pure hatred. A really angry moment for me. Just thinking about it made me a little upset. I wish I could put a few people in the pool with no ladder. After playing Overwatch. And that's the only game I think I've ever raged at, ever, actually. I played League of Legends. Overwatch was good on me, for sure.
Dang.
Yeah.
Mine was like emotionally deep. Like, because I remember growing up, I'd always been a Nintendo fan, and in high school when all the guys started playing Halo, I was like suddenly like this fake gamer, and I had this complex my whole life that becoming a woman, no one will take me seriously. So I started streaming, I started playing like Sekiro and like Bloodborne and Dark Souls, and then I got to the point where I'm like, I will not beat this boss unless I only beat him with just parries, and everyone's like, Lisa, it's fine, no one's gonna judge you. I'm like, no, I have to beat this boss, and if I get like to the point where it's like, I almost beat them, but I don't get that last parry, I'm like, I gotta start over. I'll spend 3 hours on a fight that could have lasted 45 minutes. That will say that brings, it's like the internalized broken lady inside of you.
Yes.
The girl inside of me is like, no, I'm gonna prove to these assholes I know how to game. People I don't talk to in 20 years. You're gonna know. I beat Orphan of Cause using just parries. Just saying. Okay?
I feel seen. They never let me play 007. I just had to watch. Daniel, the neighbor kid. I don't know where he is, but I hope he's not happy.
I kind of feel bad for the people who watch me stream that are just wanting to go to bed. And I'm like, no. We must keep going.
Trying to prove yourself as a woman in gaming, it's like it's an unending hunger to make sure everyone knows that I can do this way better than all of them.
I don't even think you had even add in gaming. I think you're
Just everything.
You're responsible.
We're here because of spite. Let's face it.
So Halo, remember?
Well, Lisa, I mean, I wanted to touch on something you brought up, the streaming aspect that you say, but I think it applies to everyone, whether they're playing with friends or in a larger space. Do you feel like there's a performative nature that it changes, or do you play differently when you're playing around others or for others, or does it change when you're alone and you're just kind of like, I want to relax and unwind?
Yeah, I think for anyone who's in an entertainment space to begin with, you always have this performance face on, because I also do stand-up, and so when I'm like around comedians, I'm like a different person than I am when I'm like my non-comedian friends. And I think it's the same with streaming, where it's like, I'm worse at video games when streaming, because there's also the entertainment aspect, but also, I always feel like I need to be entertaining in the moment, versus if I play something off stream, I can relax more, and I think it's just anybody who has any sort of performance. Yeah, like even if you're a singer, like you're gonna sing differently at home in front of people. I think a lot of people forget that streaming is a performance. They think like, oh, this person's just playing video games for money. It's like, no, like there's a reason why people are drawn to certain streamers, you know, because we know how to entertain and make people feel welcome. But if that answers your question, yes.
Well, for everyone else, how is it when you're playing either with friends or you're doing a game? Sometimes for me, like I'll take it as the most simplest way. I'll be playing a game and trying to have a conversation with a friend, and I'm like, I can't talk while I'm doing these Tetris blocks and the speed is going crazy and I'm on level 80 or something. So, do you guys feel that in any way, or is it like, does it evolve or change or act different for you?
1,000,000%. I feel bad for my friends. I don't know what the objective is ever anymore. I'm like, we have too much stuff going on in like real life, and they're like, you gotta come over here, come to the left side of the map. I'm like, where am I? You know? So yes, but then when I'm by myself and like for clear obscure, like I'll find a spot to just like grind and like just keep leveling up, and that's podcast time. And I get locked in like, wow, it's 2 hours. And I've grown 5 levels, but I haven't progressed the story at all. But like, yes, so when I play with my friends, I'm just sorry if they're listening. Sorry guys. It's just not good.
Well, I kind of wanted to, we've talked about a few different things, a lot of the negative and unhinged moments. They tend to, it seems like some of them have involved like being in a community or with others or playing in versus games. I want to hit on maybe some more positive aspects of that, maybe community and connection. Are there times, or has a game ever been something where it's been the core of a friendship, where you shared a strong memory with someone through a game? Kaveh, go ahead.
Oh, okay, so I have a funny story. It's a little bit long, but I promise it's got a good ending. So I grew up with an older sister and older girl cousins and 5 aunts. So not a lot of guys in my family growing up. And as my sister got older and my cousins got older, they got married and they had husbands. And now suddenly, I remember there was this one Thanksgiving. It was the first Thanksgiving where really the number of men in the family finally was equal to the number of women. And it was really funny because I also have these younger boy cousins at that time living in Florida. This is we're a little bit older. So at one point, we all have Thanksgiving. We're all hanging out and it's fun. And while the young boys are sitting and playing Black Ops, the first one that just come out, the older boys, were boys, right? At this point, we all went out and got high. It was a lot of fun. And our younger boy cousins were sitting and they're playing this game, they're having a good time. All of a sudden, like 6 older men show up into the room as these kids are playing this Black Ops game, and we're like, what is this? What is happening? This is incredible. And our younger cousins didn't understand that we were high as shit, and I think they just thought that they had created like this amazing moment for all of us. That we all super bonded on this game, and we were all so high that we decided we're all gonna go buy PlayStations after this. And we all did. And after that, we all would hop online and all play Black Ops together. And I remember this very specifically is that I asked one of my friends, Ian, who is my white friend, and I said, you should get on this and join it and play with us. And he looked at me and he goes, I don't want to be part of your terrorist training camp. It was a joke. It's okay, it's gotta pass. But it was a great bond. It was like this other, like, funny, insane way that we all got to bond together. So it was making me closer to my family. And then years later, I had to tell my little cousin, by the way, you guys knew we were really high. What? My whole life's been a lie.
That's funny. Speaking of, I think it was Black Ops. They had that zombie mode. There was one guy, one late night zombie session who was rocking with me. I don't know, it was like 2 in the morning. level like 60 or something crazy. At least it felt crazy to me. We had that session, I added him, and I played with him for like 5 years. At some point, we would just like call each other on the phone and play. Like we wouldn't even like use the party system at any point. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that guy. Shout out to Aeronation, but like one day he didn't sign back on.
Surprise or not, we brought him in.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, just to build the funny thing is Black Ops taught me how to play Animal Crossing with people. It was that same idea of like bonding with family members across time and space.
Interesting, okay.
No problem with it.
I had a good group of Canadian dads in my grade group in Elder Scrolls Online, and they were so nice to me. The nicest men. They were just like, yeah, you can do this, good. You got this, yeah. You're not a very good tank, but maybe you can go and do FPS, yeah. And it was the nicest, and I was like, I can't wait to talk to Canadian dads, and then I had to stop because I got addicted, but it was really fun. And also my brother and I that was always good. Yeah.
Mine is multiplayer games, but during the pandemic is when I started streaming, and it was the first time I felt connected to gamers, because I'd always been a solo gamer, and then people would watch me play, like, oh, you need to play on Zero. That was the big one. Yeah, see? That was the reaction. And I had heard of the game, but I was like, since these people trust, I should play it. And of course, I fell in love with it, and from there, I met up with a bunch of people in that community, which is a very, it's a big game, it's a very niche community, and I made some of the closest friends I've ever made from that fandom. And then that moved on to like that really solid fandom. And like anytime I would dip into a new fandom, I would get new people into my streams, and new people in my life, like, oh my god, I'm so excited you're playing this game, I've never watched your stream, but I want to watch you react to this. But it was like, the Yakuza series was the big one that like, was like, oh my god, like I can find a community in gaming without actually having to play with anyone, which is great. Like I don't have to play with anyone. Like, but I will talk about all the old criminal Japanese men we want to hug. Yeah, we find our friendships through thirsting over old men. So there you go. Just like
Yeah.
Smash Brothers, right?
Yeah. All right, so yeah, these stories aren't going to be funny. So first one's probably going to be emotional. This is probably the only, when we got, this panel came up, I only really thought about this story. It's kind of sappy. But my dad was he always worked a ton, and so he would come home, when I was asleep, and then when I was waking up to go to school, he'd still be asleep. And there was one morning he came in, and he was like, dude, in the room, and I had a TV and I had a PlayStation there. He's like, dude, you gotta play this game. And I was like, what? What's going on? He brought in Resident Evil 2. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we started playing, and I was like, what is this? And then it got better. Because I was like, wait, do I have to go to school now? And he was like, no. He's like, you want to stay home and play this? I was like, what is going on? It felt like my birthday, and for some reason, every time I just think about this amazing memory of family, I think about that because it blew my mind that I could just stay home and play video games and just it was just the coolest thing. And then the other thing, I just went to his panel earlier. All of you are gonna hate on this probably. It was Marvel's Avengers. I was in the beta for it. I was so excited. Giant Marvel nerd. Been a Marvel nerd my whole life. I was like, this game's gonna rule. I stuck with it forever until I was about to pull the plug. And one of the guys, I'm getting the best gear. I'm getting all the level 50 gear, premium, everything. And I started playing with this guy 1 o'clock in the morning. And we were just in sync. It was Iceman and Goose, and we were just it was Top Gun Maverick. We were just, and all of a sudden he's like, yo, you got a mic? And I was like, I do got a mic. We just started chatting. He was like, I'm gonna add you in the group. We become friends. This is during the pandemic. It kind of opens up. And we're fully just chatting now about life, games, movies, everything. He's like, I'm like, you gonna watch the new Spider-Man? He's like, yeah, come up, check it out. He's a pretty famous comedian too, and he just hosted the Little Camp panel. He opens up for Martin Lawrence and stuff, and we've been really close friends. I just went to see the new Superman movie, and we're real friends in real life, and I root him on everything he roots me on, and yeah, it's been amazing. So I could not have guessed. The Marvel's Avengers, so don't shit on it too hard. Yeah, good friends.
It's always about the game, it's about what it kind of created, or the atmosphere and stuff. And so, one of the things, Lisa, you hit on was the community aspect. Whether you're directly engaging with the community or you're kind of sharing that experience after you've all enjoyed it, I kind of want to know, did you guys, or have you looked at communities of games differently over time? Like, does that change game by game, or has it evolved in any real way? I'll start with you.
Oh, are you talking about specific gaming communities?
Yeah, or just, either a niche or a genre or a specific space of the gaming community that you're like, this is my entry point, or maybe this is where I'm comfortable, or this is where we can gush about.
Yeah, I feel like I've had like a pretty good experience, shockingly, as a woman on Twitch, for the most part, and it's because I choose to play games that don't really have a lot of trolls in them. Not a lot of trolls are coming in to bash on someone playing Metal Gear Solid 3. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if someone's playing that game, you're like, sure, we respect you for trying. Like, it's like I have a whole joke about it. Like, I was beating the last boss in the Elden Ring DLC, and like, someone came in my stream or like commented, like, get good. And it's like, buddy, this is like yelling at an Olympic medalist in the bronze level, okay? If I made it this far, I think I know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean? So it's like, there are certain aspects of the community that I hate things. It's like, I just know naturally as a woman, like, they're always gonna find an excuse for why you're good at something or why you're on opportunity. But I do think most of that trollingness is because of games like, no offense, Fortnite, Call of Duty, things that are very like male dominated. Because like a lot of women are really scared to speak up when they do multiplayer games. Like my name on Elden Ring Night Rain is Magnum Dong, and I know it's because they can't hear my voice, so they just assume like I'm a dude with a huge dong, and so no one tries to fuck with me. But I know if I had that mic on, they'd be like, God damn it, like there's.
I don't think they assume that you're.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nobody did, trust me. But yeah, I feel like it does affect the games that you play, but I also think naturally as women, like we're so tired of like having to defend ourselves that sometimes you don't speak up. So it is nice when you get to find communities where it's like, you know the people in a certain community like Yakuza, they're not there to make fun of people. They are like, thank God you're playing our games. Like, they're just like, we're just happy to have another one. You know what I mean? Like, and yeah, so I'd say my idea of gaming community has changed because growing up I dealt with so much misogyny. But as I've opened up to other games and like older games and older fandoms, I've realized over time people are just like, I just want to see someone love the thing that I love. Yeah.
It has changed so much
Yeah.
since we were kids. It was just one of those things where it was like, it wasn't an option.
Yeah.
Or you go play with a bunch of friends and it's like, I feel like they were watching you play Smash, but it was like, okay, be done. Okay, be done.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, you're playing Zelda without turning into Sheik? You idiot. And I was like, no, you are just Zelda, okay? I'm never turning into Sheik now. And I never have. But yeah, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, I look back and everyone was such a jerk about it. And now it's like, we kind of got to a place where I haven't felt that in years.
It is nice being like a woman in your like older 30s.
Yeah, that's what it
They
is.
ran out of trolling. They're like, your eggs are dying, we don't care about you.
They're like, you're
Good luck, is
dispensable.
what they're saying.
I just want to say, like, none of these, like, 14-year-old boys can say anything to me that my mom hasn't already said to me. I will crush them.
And like I have said before, if a 14-year-old boy comes on stream and troll me, I will fuck their dad. So, just saying, watch your mouth, son. All right?
I'm your stepmom.
Sorry, is this a PG panel? I'm sorry. Everyone here has heard that word. It's fine.
This is a Christian panel.
The children staff in the back is definitely like, we are never bringing her back here. There you go. Switch my name tag around.
So I didn't think I would bring this up again, but like, again, I'm gonna bring up Marvel's Avengers. Alright? Yeah, people were mad hyped about that game, and then they were like, wait, that's it? There's no more enemies? We're just gonna keep doing this? And I did. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. People were trashing on it everywhere, right? Like, this is sucks. They're not expanding, and every DLC would take too long to get there with new characters, everything. Until the Suicide Squad game came out, and or killed the Justice League. Anybody play that?
No.
Exactly. No, exactly. And then we're like, no, that Metric game wasn't that bad. I was like, right? Okay, yeah. Take that back.
Yeah.
I think
You're the person who's begging for someone to play that game.
Yes, I was like, more friends, please.
Are you being paid to promote that game?
Only for every mention.
Sorry, they send me money.
it's free on PlayStation. No, I agree with Lisa. I just think generally, the bigger, it's kind of a generalization, but I stand by it. I think the bigger the community, like the bigger chance it's terrible. Like the Fortnite, the Call of Duty, literally even a smaller game that ends up big, it becomes, it has a terrible community.
It's like when you have like a reel go viral and you know it's hit a different audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Reddit recently shared it. It gets terrible. The smaller, niche games, older games that like not a lot of people are playing, some of the best communities of all time. Deep Rock Galactic, anybody who's ever played that game?
The Survivor one, I've been digging a lot.
Great community. Such nice people over there. That and I think real life. Like when you go to like real life and talk to people, it's always drastically different than online. Like they're like gamers are quite pleasant in real life.
Something I wanted to touch on was just now, like you were saying, Hannah, there just wasn't options back then with community and stuff. And I think there's a lot more tools and ways in which people can build communities around a space that they want to have. Like with your stream, you can have a potential space for Nell, you can have a party, and the channels and the podcasts, you build a community around it if you're not seeing it. You build a space, like, hey, in this corner, we're playing nice and stuff. I wanted to touch on a little bit of the community, but I kind of want to go into a little bit of like what we go into ritual and rhythm and like comfort a little bit. And I had a personal moment with one of my favorite games. It's a little bit of a shilly game, but Pokemon Go is very comforting to me. Like it gets me out of the house. I've surprisingly met a lot of people that I never would have met. Back in my day, it was always like, you have to finish your homework, you go to sleep, but you can't fight the Elite Four again. But now I'm seeing a grandma being like, my son's at school, I have to catch him YouTube. And it's such a different environment now. It's so welcoming in that space. But I want to ask the panel, and Hannah, I'll start with you on this one. What's a game that brings you comfort? Like, where do you go with that comfort? And what does that look like?
Thank you for asking me first so I don't forget the question. Thank you. I'm worried about my memory loss. The game that brings me comfort, I know I just keep talking about Skyrim, but it truly, in my soul, I love that game. I get on there and I just ride a horse and just listen to the music and look at the mountains, and I'm like, this is cool. I don't want to go actually outside. That's just why I don't know. It just brings such a comfort to me because I have my little things I do. It's like I'm gonna go raid this place, and it's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna have a great time, and I get to ride my horse all the way to Markarth, and Markarth's awesome. And I get to join some crazy cult, and that's fun. And it's just things that, like, I feel like again, growing up as a girl, I'm sure you felt the same way, where you have to tailor your experience to yourself because you're a single person playing a game. You don't have a community. And so I never played with people until I started streaming a few years ago and then quit. Because I was always alone. And so the games where I could feel like I had control over everything, or I could choose where I was going, meant a lot to me because I don't know how to put it into words. It's just it's very comforting to go there.
Yeah,
To go to that place. Yeah, to just have no boundaries and no one telling me what to do. So, yeah.
So this wasn't a game that I was super into until the pandemic, but like many people, I only got into Animal Crossing at that time. And I used to be like, what the hell is this game? Like, what did you don't kill anyone? Like, what's the point of this? I don't remember who got us into it, but my wife and I both got into it at the same time. And this is really dorky, but it got to a point where like on New Year's Eve that first year where no one could go anywhere, we're like, let's open the island. And I had everybody, I can't believe I'm telling you people this. We opened the island and like a bunch of other friends that we had gotten it into, we were all like, let's come and hang out. So we like turned on like the FaceTime from like 5 different people, and we were all just chill. Again, dorkiest memory, but it was like this really saccharine sweet kind of and I'm not like the examples I've given before of like games that I play online tend to be with people that I know in real. I guess I'm so afraid of like, stranger danger. Like I won't go online and play with people I don't know. It has to be like a family member or a friend or something that's been referred to. And Animal Crossing was good for that. But I tell you, every day in that pandemic when everything was awful and like the lockdowns were happening and everything was terrible, just hearing that little tune when you first opened up the game. It was like Pavlovian of like, at least there's one spot where like things feel like there's order. And
Unless they're mad at you.
What's that?
Unless you skip a few days and they're like, where have you been?
For a year, they think you died.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't opened that game in 2 years because I'm terrified of those NPCs. Sorry, I didn't mean to walk over.
No, I was just gonna say, and then the other thing I loved about it was, it wasn't about competition as much as it was about showing, I'm in the arts, like I have a lot of crazy, weird, creative friends, and every time people see their island, they're like, what the shit? What is that? And it's awesome, and it's like so specific and weird, and like I built like an entire level of the original Donkey Kong in mind. And it was just like getting inspired from other people to like how you do it. You're like, okay, if I build this platform, I get this piece, and I'll put a ladder here, like a barrel, and then like, the monkey character that I have lives at the top. And so it just got really weird and really creative, and the more you talked to other people, the more you went and saw other people, and the more time you share with each other, I really loved it. It was a really important part of like just getting through it without totally losing my mind.
Your poor Nintendo Switch has no idea what time it is.
I think it helped a lot of people.
Oh, yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
that game was a save. That game came out at the perfect time. I bet they were all just like, this is the best. And people who made Zoom were like, this is awesome.
Ronell, what about you?
I'm going to say the game last. I think it's going to derail anything if you think about the game. But my comfort game is a game that I've been playing for a very long time, like over 6 years. And I just like it because I know the characters like, I don't know, I know their lore, I know how they work. I play it occasionally with friends, and I've just been doing it for so long. Like, I just go through the motions. I really only pick like 1 or 2 characters. And I've just been picking them forever. It's competitive, but I just like tune out. Like maybe I'll listen to a podcast, I'll listen to some music, and just like rock out to that game. The game is League of Legends. I get it. I understand.
This is the BB.
This is, yeah. No, so I know. This is a Minecraft server here, but it's League of Legends.
Thanks so much.
My comfort game that makes me like super calm and relaxed is Dark Souls 3. I'm not even kidding. And people are like, wow, it's because, listen, everyone's like, Stardew Valley. Like, Stardew Valley has a time frame. You have chores. That is not very relaxing to me at all, okay? I don't want to have to pick broccoli and meat or whatever. I don't want to do that, okay? But I love Dark Souls. Hollow Knight is another one because the sound design is really calming to me, where it's just like quiet, and then you can hear the little pitter patter of your feet on like rain or what, and then yeah, you die a lot, but like it's like I already know the loss aspect of it, and I've made it so many times that if I just want to pick something up and like I just want to do some combat, I just want to walk around, like Dark Souls 3 really is a relaxing game. Like any of those Souls games are to me, because it's just I already know the patterns, I know what it's getting into, and if I am getting too frustrated, I will not play too long. I will be like, I've had an hour of this, and now I'm done, and I need to go to bed. So, yeah, and Hollow Knight too. Great relaxing game. Yeah.
Stardew Valley.
I mean, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what you said. Like, for me now, it's Clear Obscure. And it's like you find that new enemy and they're just wrecking you. You're like, this timing is so stupid. But then you finally get it. And then you're like, well, let me try it again. And try it again. And then I'll just keep going. And then, like I said, and especially if there is good music, I'm vibing, there's, maybe I've made myself a little drink, I would just like, and that is so relaxing to me, but there has to be a little bit of like, there has to be something there. And then you get in the flow of it, and you're like, man, I'm a god. And like, I don't know, something about that is nice. nice. Like I want to try to get in that flow state, and I need a little bit of competition.
Need some
Yeah. And I think that's kind of where I'm at now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something you hit on with Obscure, I've played it recently, and it helped me kind of address or process certain things that I've recently been going through. And I'm curious, I want to go into this question, I'll start with you, Thomas, is do you associate certain games with certain parts of your life or certain versions of yourself? Like go into certain spaces, or you kind of hinted at a little bit of your past selves, but I'm curious now.
I feel like this is
where
very
you're at.
targeted. Not to bring the mood down, I was in a plane crash in 2019, and less than 10% chance of surviving. When I woke up, I didn't know what conditions my hands were in or anything. And so, I owned it Halo. I obviously had played I'll put it in quotes, competitively for Smash. And like, that was something I was very serious about. I was like, can I play games still? Right? And then somebody got me a Switch they brought in the hospital, and it was like Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and I was like, yes! Like, that was perfect. Like, that's all I could do at the time. I'm like, it's great, I love Marvel. And I kept playing that, and then I was like, well, if I can play the Switch, I can probably play PlayStation. And then I played that, and I was like, well, that's it, I'm gonna be the best at Marvel Avengers. I probably was like, at least top 10. SCT, you'll tell. But yeah, then it did, and I was like, part of that, and then, opposite of you, like, interacting with strangers, I became, like, I was in these groups of like 50 to 100 people, and we would they're like, we've never beat this before. I was like, I got you, I'm gonna run it, let's do it. And then I would like usher them through. And the amount of confidence it kind of gave me to know that, like, one, I can still play games, and two, like, I'm still useful in this way, and I can still kind of lead and be like this person that helps people, meant a lot to me. And then I think I just kind of piggybacked on more things in my life, and then I was like, wait, can I talk about this on a podcast? Listen, and here we are. So I definitely do. Marvel Avengers again. For all the time I got, really helped me out of a dark time. So that was pretty nice.
I hope they're paying you well.
I had a similar, not similar experience, but I also had.
I rarely eat.
Also, Life's Adventures.
Should we go to the team?
Not fly anywhere.
Train
No.
Passenger princess always.
I skateboarded in high school, and my senior year in high school, I don't remember any of this, but apparently I got out of class early and I decided to bomb this hill, and my friend pulled up with her car, and I was like, let me pull on the back of it, because that would be awesome, because I'm 17. And I ate shit and I fractured my skull. And I basically had like hemorrhage, it was bleeding in my brain. They were like, how are you not dead? Like, it's a miracle that you should be dead and you weren't. And the irony is that when I got out of the hospital, my friends came over, and one of my friends brought an N64 that was his, and he gave me Tony Hawk's. And I sat there recovering from this massive head injury for hours on end. And my mom wanted to murder me. She was like, I'm too tired. But it was this thing but mine was more, it was like a lament, because I was like, I know I'm never going to be on a skateboard ever again. Because if anyone sees me, they will kill me.
You're like, I'm never going to be doing a 1080.
Right. But it was this weird, like, wish fulfillment thing where I'm like, this is the only way I can ever do this again.
That's relatable.
What about you, Ronell?
Can you repeat the question again?
Thank you, I was gonna ask.
Okay. Are you like associating games with certain parts of your life, or when you're going through certain great phases of things or experiences? Is there any experience you can drop from?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think there's just like levels. Like I think it's happened with a few different games. Just off the top of my head, I feel like the moment there was one when I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom. I was going crazy in that, and like I learned to like lose. right? And then it was doubled down because I think my sister had a boyfriend and he took it and I think he sold it. So loose double, really loose. So that changed me as a human. And then I think Guitar Girl again, Guitar Girl 3, like, actually, it was Little Big Planet. Little Big Planet for the PlayStation 3. That was when, I think alright, quick story. So when I first got, I didn't have a console, my aunt had a console, I would go to her house and play. Then my sister got the first console in my actual household, and that was like a Sega Genesis. So I would play kind of like with my dad, with my sister. My mom wouldn't touch it, but my dad would play. And then we kind of stopped like playing together because I just got ridiculously good. And then my little brother came along. He loved Little Big Planet. That was the first big game he brought home. Like they would always go out and get games and always be the stupidest, dumbest games. But he brought home Little Big Planet, which I also thought was stupid and dumb, but it wasn't. It was probably one of the greatest games I've ever played in my entire life. So then that brought back, like my sister played with me once. We played with my sister, my brother. So it kind of brought back like my family gaming experience, and it was great. It was great. So Little Big Planet probably fundamentally, it is just a cute game. It's like all about community and shit. So I'm like, wow. Community thing is solid, man. Like, I don't like it. So yeah, probably Little Big Planet actually.
This is gonna start sad, but it has to be. I have to get the story. So it was March 2020, and I just had a miscarriage. So you can laugh. And I was like, I need to become the best at Civ 5 that anyone's ever been, because my life, at 2020, we were all just like, cool, we're all gonna die. And I was like, and so I played Civ 5 for like 6 straight months. And it was the best 6 months of the pandemic. And it like healed me. I was like, I know, I'm gonna be Brazil, and I'm gonna absolutely get every single one of their achievements. Next I took my life back. I mean, I still was, 2020 was insane. But just know that I was grieving and playing Civ 5 every hour of the day. Sorry to bring the mood down, but yeah, Civ 5 I'm obsessed with it. And I could smell the air of the city I lived in and think Civ 5. I could just like things always remind me, I'm like, cool, okay. And I learned all about these countries and these like world leaders, and I love that.
You were talking about historic class as well.
Yeah, I love history. I love avoiding life by looking into like war and trade agreements between different nations, and yeah, it's fun to play as somebody who was originally oppressed, and then just have them go and absolutely flatten the English, because let's be honest, it was always the English. Yeah, flatten. Anyway.
Wow, this is like a trauma dump question.
Sorry.
I did not realize.
You're like, let's cry here. Yeah, mine's pretty sad too, actually. At the beginning, in mid-2018, I had lost my fiance. Yeah, it's been 7 minutes. Whatever, you can laugh. But yeah, it was obviously a really hard time in my life. I had quit comedy. I did a bunch of like traveling. Lose someone, it's really hard to gain back any sort of emotion for anything. And even after like 2 big solo trips, I was like, I couldn't even bring myself to cry when I had continued to lose people in my life since. It was very numbing. And then during the pandemic, I started streaming, and it was Yakuza 0, and I cried so hard playing that game to the point where it is now like a clip on my stream that people love to bring up all the time of me just like drunk, sweating, crying, like, hey, they put Keating in prison, like just full on tears. I think that was the first time I felt true emotions since the 2 years prior, since I lost my fiance. And ever since then, I was like, oh my God, like, I love gaming, I love streaming, and yeah, it's just, I would say, yeah, thank you, Yakuza, for making me really easy to cry now. So, there you go.
That's what games do. It's like, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I'm doing insane things, and but you start to feel again.
Yeah.
It's nice because it gives you an outlet.
I think a lot of people, I think games are being taken seriously more now, especially since, like, video game industry, even though with all the layoffs, still makes more money recommended us because my thing is like, when I'm watching a movie and I see an actor and they're doing a really emotional scene, I can cry, but in my head I'm like, that's just a really good actor. But when I'm playing a video game and it's a character, I can resonate with that character because I only associate them as that character. So it's easy for me to get more sucked into like video games and anime because I'm not like, oh, it's Matt Damon, you know? and I explain that to people and then they try to understand it, but they're like, yeah, games just on my team. Okay, go watch football. I don't know what
Go get your Ingram.
Go do sports stuff, I guess. I'm gonna go cry to my old Japanese criminals, okay?
I just want to add to that really quick that it's almost like I realized after a long time it's a healthy escapism. It can be a healthy escapism because like boomers or whatever were like, this is just rotting your brain. And it's like, no, I'm actually learning how to access some parts of my emotions that you never taught me to access.
I wanted to thank everyone on stage. We're wrapping up at this stage now, but let's give a warm, applause. We're able to share the stories we have today and all of the different ways we can now look at games. I hope everyone in the audience had a chance to examine some of these things, reflect on maybe their own memories of it. So thank you for being here today. I want to give a quick word to also give thanks to the staff of Comic-Con. Let's give it up. I want to give you all a quick chance to plug anything, you want upcoming items or anything you want to shout out. Please go ahead, Ronell.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, 8-Bit Closed Fist. Also check out Checkpoint the Show. If you like G4, like Attack the Show type of thing, we're kind of bringing that back in a cool way with Checkpoint the Show. Also, if you're in Los Angeles, they're like gaming tournaments, anime karaoke, little fun stuff like that.
You can follow me at, up there. But if you love deeply researched insanity, you should listen to our podcast, 500 Open Tabs. It's a fun, crazy community, and we are, it's just this energy, except we talk about insane things. That's a really good, I hope you save me with what you say about this podcast, because I am just rambling.
I'm just going to let you keep going.
Other than that, you can find me at Artist Alley booth BB01 in the convention. I'm so tired. And I will be doing commissions, and I'm selling prints and stickers and originals.
And I forgot to mention what the podcast is about. We have a lot of open tabs open on our phone. So every week we pick one tab that we've been needing to read forever, and we don't tell the other person what it is, so it's a la carte. Every week it's something completely different from the week before, unless it's something that takes over a couple weeks to get through it all. But
And it does.
it does, yes. That's 500 Open Tabs. Perm Friends is my handle on Instagram. That's my graphic novel series. I draw a lot of comics, graphic novels, books, all comedic, all absurd, all in line with how I was on stage tonight. So if you enjoyed that, go ahead and check out my books. My website, so much slight. blacksmithfilms.com is where you can find any of those.
Thomas, if you like movies and TV, check out Challenge Accepted Live. Me and my co-host challenge each other back and forth to do a movie or show every week. Review everything, kind of the nerdinitiative.com. And last one, Sickburn Podcast, like the main thing I'm doing. I interview other people who have had trauma and what they've learned from it, and some life lessons and how they've turned that trauma into triumphs, and hopefully spread a little inspiration and hope. It's called Sickburn Podcast. Also, I've been coming to conventions for like years. My wife's never been here, and she's here. And
Must be nice.
that was a sick bird. Very sick bird.
So I do stand-up comedy. I have a comedy special coming out this year that I filmed in a video game store talk about dorky shit. And it's not a Dark Souls podcast, it's a Dork Souls podcast. I have to say that legally. And then yeah, I do journalism. I'm just really online, and I still have no money. So I can really use a follow, is what I'm saying.
How about a round of applause for our fantastic
I have my envelope there, and I celebrate and elevate games and game developers. And when I'm not doing that Savepoint Stories, this is very much in the vein of that, where I have conversations with some of the folks you've seen here and many others. And it's been a good time. Thank you all for coming today. Appreciate your time. I hope you have a good rest of your con. Be safe and have fun.